It's another video from the Weiss Schwarz Club. Yeah, Myth. Yeah, Kaichou over there.
Hey guys.
And today we're gonna be showing off the deck that Kaichou piloted to get third place in the most recent Bushiroad Rumble Online 2022. So Kaichou, you wanna go ahead and talk about the event and how your deck played out?
Yeah, so Bushiroad, they're doing these online tournaments with COVID and stuff. So they started last year, 2021. I didn't play that year because I had work, but then I decided I'll play this year. So I decided to call off work. So then here we are. I was just playing RWBY because that's like the only English deck I own that's like playable, aside from Kaguya because yeah, we don't talk about Kaguya anymore. That deck is sad now. But we're getting set too, so trust. Yeah, so just starting off with my deck profile. First, we'll go first with the RWBY deck profile, and then we'll move on to the matchups that I played later with the overview. So the best card to RWBY. Apparently, people in the world don't play this card. This is Sun Wukong. It's only a SoCal thing. So I play 4 copies because card's OP. It's on play. If you have another character, it gains 2k, so it becomes 4k beater. Very relevant in this meta with the Armored Runners in the middle and Mishoku, the Aqua in the middle. Gets 3/5s, being 4k, you kill all those cards. And then it has effect on reversing pay when clock yourself, check 2, add 2 characters. So it basically is the Aqua from Hololive, except it's on reverse instead of having to die. Which is a lot better, since you can just can't get it denied sometimes, because if they bomb your Aqua, then your card is gone. So this card is basically Aqua better. Play it, please, at 4. Moving on, I play 4 copies of this Neptune. This is more of a tech that June was playing as RWBY gun. Shout out to June. It's just a 4k. If you have a marker on play, you can top check. If it's a character, you may mark it. It's just another one of those 4k beaters to add to the deck. Good going first card. And then on your second turn, if this lives, you can play this and play this another card, and then you just get +2 back from here. Super solid plussing engine, 4k beater. Their Aqua can't kill it, which is the most important thing. Any of the 3/5s can't kill it. Utility cards can't really kill it, especially since Damachi just got released. They have the bomb this card, which you always take the bomb anyways. It means they won't be bouncing back their bomb with the Bell Ricky. So solid card to play, double 4k beater, which is good. Then I play 3 copies of the RWBY or the Pura Rise. Well, you kind of have to play this card because, spoiler, I'm playing the RWBY 3/2 combo. So you have to play this card. I usually don't play it for the mill, because a lot of times I would be compressed and the mill wouldn't really matter too much. But sometimes you do get a nice hand filter out of this card, and then it just self-compresses you by sending it to memory if you have 2 or less. So that's why I only play 3 copies, because he only said max 3. This card, I would be just removing it because I won't be playing RWBY combo in the future from the game, because what I've seen is RWBY combo doesn't do too much in the meta right now if you just win from mid game, because RWBY has so many good non-Climax combo finishers, so you just play those instead of that. And then 3 salvage brainstormers. It's the only brainstorm in the set, kind of, aside from the short brainstorm from the TD. This card has, when you kill something, you can assign 500, which matters a lot of times because this is a standby deck, so if your opponent's crashing into your standby walls, you can assign 500, manipulate power. Just a good card overall to play. A new card that I wasn't playing recently, is the Weiss PR. This is on play, it gains 15, so it becomes 3/5. Once again, tying with 3/5 beaters. You can just get rid of any of the 3/5 Aquas, stuff like that. Just another good power line to add into these 2. She also has on reverse, if you have a Climax, you can blind stock. Similar to Assault Lily with their Book and Door combo. The Book combo is basically John combo, assigning their on reverse search effects to the 1/0 blind stalker. This is basically a similar idea of that. And it's a nice use to PvP on 0 that you can kill other people's 3/5s, and being tied with it is super nice too. And then the most MVP card in game aside from Wukong is Zwei. Zwei has 2 effects. Zwei is on play, a mandatory mill 2. If you hit a Climax, you can ditch one and then search deck for a character. just a super nice card. Free hand filter, and then his second effect is drop salvage effect standard on play, pay one, ditch one, salvage character, and then give another character 1k. Just super good. Early game, if you randomly mill Climax, you can get a free search for your level 1 combo, or maybe a Wukong. It just acts like another copy of any of these other level zeros. And the drop salvage effect is just solid overall. Just to have more selection in your away room, since you only have brainstorm salvage, and then your combo is a search combo. And then last card, I play one copy of the Climax swap. I think this card is just standard. If you have it, you play it. There's consideration for playing the 1-0 Nora that has on play. You can pay 2 Central Climax with the same name as Climax in your waiting room. I played this one because I was playing standby, so the top check filter effect is nice. And then I'm also playing a split combo at level 3, so the Climax combo is really helpful for me to just swap out for whatever Climax I need to. So that ends it up for the level 0 lineup.
So one thing that kind of we noticed throughout the tournament is that going second is a pretty advantageous position to be in the current English meta. So it looks like you've pretty much geared your entire early game to pretty much stomping when you go second. So you want to kind of talk about why you don't have too many cards that, like, say, Neon Cat, for example, that some people are playing, or some of the other, like, just general going first options, maybe Mill Runner, the back row runner from RWBY.
Yeah. So I used to play that before this list. I thought it was pretty good. The reason I played the RWBY run because she hits 4k, but then I realized Neptune does the same thing. The run effect doesn't matter nowadays too much because Wukong here just gives you a plus anyway, so you don't have to worry about getting the plus off the runner. And sometimes the runner can just maybe do climaxes, and then that's also a tragedy. Neon Cat is kind of a sad card. It's good because it's submarine and coin flips, but there are cards like it's really just this Wukong that does everything that you would want. So this card just kills the Aqua, gets you your plus. It's basically what Neon Cat does. And then sometimes this card is also good if they have 2 cards. So then, because Neon Cat doesn't work if they have more than 1 character in the front row. So yeah, it's really just MVP, max out on Wukong, and then play to let your cards live. So what I've learned is that when I tri lane, I like having all my characters live, which means I'll soak up more damage. So then I'll be taking less. I'll be taking like 2-2-2, and then instead of taking like 2-2-3, or maybe like if you play Neon Cat and she bounces back, you take an extra damage. Similar to the Bell from Damachi, the Reiki, where it bounces himself and another character. Like you get a +2, but then you also like are more prone to taking damage. So what I've learned is that tempo is really important now, and if you're able to just stop taking damage, it's like really important because Wukong also stops you from clocking, because he will just clock with his effect and get your plus instead. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Please play Wukong. PSA.
Please play Wukong. Yep. Moving on to level 1s, we just play 4 copies of the Jean combo. This combo is similar to the one in Assault Lily. On Climax play, you can give one of your other characters the ability on reverse search. It works anywhere, so back row, front row, just anywhere. You just have to give it to another character. And then on attack, he gives one of your characters 2k, any character, if your character's all on trait, obviously. It might matter if your character is on trait, if they're playing like some remove trait. But yeah, this card is super good. Since usually your first round of combo, you can just have like 2 Vs in the back row, and then you have like your 3 attackers in the front, and then the next turn you can also do combo again because he's back row and move him up to attack. If you don't need to kill, he is very good at pumping power to just 1 single lane and then get into reverse, because all it really needs is 1 reverse. So with that, we play 2 copies of the Pair Bomb. This basically removes anything that is a level 1 that can be reversed. Since during this time, Egg Standby Nino wasn't a thing. Not a lot of sets are playing like the costless and can be reversed. The 1/1 can be reversed by cost 0. So bombs are still pretty good. Pair Bomb eats through all the standby targets. So Mushoku, yeah, goodbye to your Eris. You don't have Encore, so you're just gone. And it just eats to anything. You can also pump power to make this card bigger, and then assign power with your Brainstorm. So then she'll live on the cross turn. You'll bomb their card, and then you leave an open slot, which is, more ways to do damage. And then our last card I play is I play the Tai Yang. The Tai Yang is actually really good in RWBY, one of the best cards, or one of the good cards. He has, during your turn, he gets global 1k, pretty good with your combo on reverse, get more power. And then he has act, pay 1, ditch card, you can rest him, or act, ditch card, rest him, and then you can look up to 3 at any card. Really good at adding those climaxes, maybe mill your deck, ditch a card like a standby target for you to use the standby. So really good synergy throughout the deck, and he gets more power.
Two quick things to remember about the pure bomb as well is that you have is that it also has the draw ditch effect if you have 2 or more characters. Sometimes comes in handy. And then when it's sent to the waiting room, it also sends the pure resist memory on waiting room send. So this is how you can kind of help accelerate the RWBY combo. Granted, you probably won't be playing RWBY combo necessarily in the future, but you'll still most likely play the bomb against.
Play the bomb because of the John combo, which is solid. Also know that she needs 2 more characters. Other characters to become a bomb. These are real conditions, but not really. Just a good note. 2 to draw ditch and 2 to bomb. So if you have one, you're most likely to have the other, unless they, someone remove your characters.
Yep.
We got to level 2. Nothing too standard or too special over here. Play 2 targets of the 2/2 standby. She is 10k if you have 2 more other characters, and hand on core. I thought about just playing the Nora 2/1 from the TD, where she gets 1k on attack times your other characters. She's base 7k also. She comes 11 with hand on core. She's bigger than Yang. If you want to play with the offensive style, I thought about it, but after playing with 2/2, I think having the wall is really important, especially with the game plan that I was going with, playing the pure standby, giving global 1k, so Yang is going to be pretty big. And defense is pretty important, so that's why I'm playing these 2 counters, the free fresh counter, memory kick counter. Using these 2 counters, you can protect your 2/2s, maybe 3/2s, pretty well against like those big boards like Kanatas, playing Mashoku with their standby boards if they're not set up yet. So you become 14/5s, pretty cake against those boards, so pretty important to play. I have thought about cutting anti-change or cutting free fresh play anti-change. Because I don't think I ever cut memory kick, because this card is too good now. Just to get rid of big cards. And it is a 3k backup, which is important a lot of times. Free fresh counter never comes up. Because a lot of times, since my cards are so big, my level zeros are going to be at the board, so they're most likely siding to stop me from playing refresh counter. So maybe in the future I'll play anti-change. But I feel like if I cut anti-change, there's going to be a time when I'm going to be like out 8. And then I'm then just dead. So that's like one thing I'm not cutting out.
Yep.
Moving on to our level 3s. 3 copies of the pure standby. This card is like really good cheesed, because sometimes good players will always leave 1 card in the deck. So what she does is, when you summon her from the standby during your climax phase, you can pay 2 sack the standby and then stand her, and then shuffle up to X characters from your X cards from your opponent's waiting room into their deck. X use number of characters you have on the board. So, but usually when you stand by her out, you have a full board. So that's shuffle 5 characters plus their 1 in the deck. If it's clean, that's 6 damage. So pure is a standby, which means you're not going to be able to push the extra damage like the Bushiroad combos out there on the 1k one. So any open slots is just basically more free damage. So that's why the pure bomb here, it's really good at opening slots. Being bigger than them countering over or just forcing them to crash can give you more damage. And yeah, so that's why I play her. She has global 15 in the front row, making her 11/5, making my 2/2s also 11/5. Just basically the game plan of the deck is just play this pure as many times. And she can also act as a finisher. Late game, your opponent is out a lot, you can shuffle and just clean cards and try to get as much damage as possible, since we have a lot of damage outputs without even playing any climax combos. And then I play 2 copies of the RWBY combo. She's a healer, and then when you play the climax, you can tap her. If you have 2 of the pure memory, you can tap her, and then you can burn 3, clock kick character, choose 1 character in front of it and clock kick it. It does target, so everyone's playing like hexproof, you don't get the clock kick. I played her just split combo, just to see how it works. Most of the time, a lot of my games actually, I just never played her. or I never play the combo, but sometimes I play as a healer once. She's just there as split combo in case I was playing against those matchups that require me to like remove the board, like the rest counter matchups, Mishoku, Hololive. That's basically the theme of this deck is trying to counter those two matchups because I know those two were going to be the biggest representation. So RWBY just denies them with the counter step and just removes the card, does damage. Super nice, but also, you know what else denies counter step? Just being bigger. So that's what really it comes down to. I play 2 copies of the EP healer. And this card's fake. I don't play it, in my opinion. I never actually needed to early play heal because a lot of times I'm playing Pura as my 3-2 on the board, so I'm just using stock and resources to get my Pura in the waiting room, get the standby. And then so Blake here is just more healers. Basically, I only play 4 healers, and a lot of times you can just choice one of the Blakes to stock and just leave her there as an extra stock because you don't really need to play Blake. And then for our endgame finisher, I just play 1 copy of the RWBY and the 1 copy of the Weiss Standard. So RWBY has on play you can salvage a character, and then she has end of attack you can pay to discard 2 to burn 2. And then the Weiss is on play she gains 1k times your characters. And she has end of attack pay to discard 2 characters to restand. So both these cards non-interactive. Weiss is baked, so she can remove cards. RWBY just gets extra burn damage to these 2. For 4 stock, you can do both of these. Assuming you attack in the right order, you have to restand with Weiss and then attack again to get the extra stock. These 2 are basically all you need. If Weiss is an empty lane, you can swing for 3 and then swing for 4. If you have Climax, it's 4-5. And if you're able to play the shuffle back the same turn, and they're out a lot, Weiss can just do a lot of damage, and then you can die pretty hard from like level 2. And then for the tech options, we play 1 Salem. Just good card. Played in every deck. Basically, Salem is the one good thing is she's in stock swap and an Icy Tail. Icy Tail 5 on play. You can pay 1 to choose one of the effects and do it. This card is just super solid. Compared to normal stock swaps, she has the second effect of being able to Icy Tail, which is like super solid. And the combination of being able to Icy Tail the deck and then shuffling back, we're playing like budget superstars. If you know, once the VOD comes out, there was a dude playing Superstars at Home with RWBY, where their deck was playing like 4 Salems and then like the pure shuffle backs. You know, a nice good. Basically, how you end a lot of games is your opponent's like 1-6 or something, 1-7, or like whatever the ratio. You just like if you hit one, they're clean, they're just dead. And also note that PR does work from back row, so if you ever need to like play this and sail on the board, or maybe like some other like healer, you can just play that and then have a 2 extra stock. You can play the standby, summon the PR to back row, shuffle 5 back. Just good interactions to play. I play 1 copy of the Nora. She is 4 more early play, and then she has on play. She gains 4/5, and your opponent can't, or both players can't play back cards battle. This card is similar to just the Miyuki from Kaguya. Gets baked, opponent can't counter. It's another way to stop the rest counters. It just kills anything. Force them to encore, or if it doesn't have encore, they're just dead. And then my last level 3 is just the Ironwood. You know, James, you gotta play him sometimes. He has on play, you can check 3, rearrange, and then you can bounce one of your opponent's characters. And then he's on attack, you can give 1 character 500 times the amount of all your characters, so plus 2/5 bump to any character. And he has a bounce. So these 2 are just ways to dodge rest counter. So with this, I felt like you don't actually need to play the RWBY combo. So for the future, I'm just gonna max out on playing pure combo and then adding more just Climax combo, my Climax combo finishers. And yeah, that's pretty much for the level 3s here. Going for the Climax lineup, I think 4 choice is pretty standard. And then I play 3 copies of the pure standby, 1 copy of the RWBY standby. Yeah, so I just didn't want to play. I just play this for the tag. I never actually played the standby. A lot of times the standby would trigger it and it would just like mean stock if I can't pay it out, sure, it's whatever. We just don't play combo. And then a lot of times my opponents would just see the Pura They're like, yeah, I'm gonna side this so you don't get your condition. I'm like, sure, dude. I don't even play combo. So it's just like free plus. I take those.
Yep. So I guess something worth discussing before we get into your matchups here, Kaichou, is there if Weiss Schwarz ever came up with like a side decking format or a format where you would be able to switch cards out, when do you see any matchups or any situation where you may consider leaning more into the RWBY combo as opposed to Pyrrha?
Uh, I think so. In theory, people should play around Pyrrha combo, just like if they see it, and then if they refresh correctly, Pyrrha doesn't do anything. Even in the late game, sometimes they're just compressed and Pyrrha doesn't do anything. But I feel like a lot of times I'm playing it, I would rather just like remove one of the characters, get a direct attack, and end with the two non-climax combo finishers. So like RWBY, I don't think as of right now has much, unless your opponent's like whole board is like hexproof. But then even though you can't even claw kick if they're hexproof, so uh, yeah, I think just the two restanders and then burn two, like any combination of those two cards, like maybe play more copies so you can have like two restanders, one burn two. I think this RWBY combo, it's like nice because it heals. Uh, but yeah, a lot of times I don't think I ever see me playing this combo.
All right, like that's pretty understandable considering the decks that are coming out. What with Nino, with Quince 2 coming out a little bit after Bro, so RWBY combo kind of loses a lot more value because of decks like that. Conta Marine is pretty good
Yeah,
against RWBY, so
yeah,
yeah.
especially because these two don't require reverses, right? If it required reverses, then we would have a different story. But they don't require reverses; they're just free. And if they memory kick the RWBY, they memory kick the RWBY. You can just probably play around that by swinging the open lane because the Weiss is going to be huge anyway. So a lot of times we won't get memory kicked. So that's like just the idea.
Yep. All right. So you want to go ahead and talk about some of your matchups on the day?
Yeah. So there was like 100 and what 23, 24,
164.
64.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like 7 rounds
Yep.
because we didn't make the cutoff. Round one, I was playing against Eight Pants, Hololive, Pecora, Brucia. I was looking at that deck and I was like, the deck is pretty vanilla as long as I, don't get Roosh yet. And I'm playing Pyrrha, so, I gotta refresh correctly. I should be okay. That matchup, my opponent, like, swung twice for, like, two times, two turns, and I was like, yeah, that's a rip. And the one turn, they got the... so when they got to level 2, the first time, they weren't able to play the Rusha package, so then they just went with their combo. The one combo one more time, and then I got hit to level 2, then I played Pyrrha, and I shuffled all his like Rushias, and like level 3s back into the deck. So then for the next turn he played Rushia combo. He was only able to summon a Watame off the Rushia, which was like kind of tragic.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then he also swung his Rushia into my Pyrrha, and then I memory kicked it. So it was just, yeah, he didn't have a board, right? And once upon an encore, the card is removed from the board, right? So that matchup was tragic for him. Round 2, I was playing against Miku Waifu, set one only, by the way. So he was playing just the headphones combo into the Mocha plus ICO2 Miku. Now that guy was just having fun playing his Waifu deck. Like after his combo turn, he got back 2 events. This guy was also the same guy that also played 2 headphones, which I thought was interesting. But that meant he only do a combo each turn. I don't think anything was wrong with that. But I think the misplay was the turn after, he headphones once got a playable, and then he didn't headphones the second time for a playable, so then he kept the headphones in hand and then swung twice. And then I was like, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and then, he did his combo, he played the game. But, in terms of just raw damage, I just stuck more damage because he was like out a lot, and then I shuffle back. That's pretty much what the idea was. round 3, you know, another chill dude from Canada. He was playing Bang Jim. He's playing Rinko, Lisa, just Roselia mono band deck. The new Rinko combo that lets you check 5, add 5 Roselia characters. Play against that, and then once you got the end game, it was almost scary. So he played one Lisa, which turned into 4 Lisas, and then each Lisa burned 4, and it was kind of scary. But I was lucky enough to cancel, and then I was able to kill him next turn. But yeah, I was like at 2-2, and then I ended off like at 3-4, 3-5. Yeah, taking 4 is dangerous. Then for round 4, I played against RWBY Superstars at home. This is playing John Pira. I saw the list. I was like, interesting. He was playing 2 Piras, but then I saw 4 Salem. So I was like, oh, okay. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to do some icy tail, like shuffle back cheese. Like that's basically what my list is. I don't commit to it, but I just play these combos, these other cards, to, like try to end the game. We had the same idea. That game, I just stuck more damage than he did. Basically what it came down to. And then round 5, he came against our boy H.
Oh, shout
basically
out to our
playing the
boy
same
H.
deck. Yeah, shout out to H, dude. Yeah, I played against him. I saw his list and I was like, yeah, this is kind of interesting. There's like a lot of one of like tech options. He's playing the same list as me, basically the split standby combo. Instead of 3-1, he's playing 2-2. That game, I was at 2-6 and I decided to play for another turn and then I died. Which was, yeah, that was a misplay on my part. I just went for the kill. Because I think in this meta, games are too fast and people can kill from like anything. So 2-6, 3-0, no diff actually. So might as well just try to clock it in the game and do some more damage. That was the misplay there. That was my first loss against boy H. Speaking of H, no, but only up his deck list. That was really interesting that he was just playing like the one card was this Roy card, Roy Stallion. So this is the on play you can shuffle 2 characters back, and this card can decide no penalty. And then it also has on attack, you can choose one of your opponent's characters. Minus 1k power. So, I saw the idea for that. Side these big walls. Maybe you can cheese some cards in minus 1k.
He also plays 3 copies of Neon Cat, I believe, which was a little more of a hedge towards kind of canceling out most of the going first openers.
Yeah. Good thing he played 3 copies of Wukong, so you know what? That's respectable. We'll give him that much at least. Yeah. Everything else is just these one-ofs, like Weiss, PR, Climax, Schwarz, Y. I think his Y at 1, for how good the card is a mistake. Y should be like at least a 2 of. Yep. He plays a Dachi. I mean, Dachi's a good card, but a lot of times your 1-0s can just kill everything. If not, at level 2, you should be able to play like a Nora or a Standby, and you should be able to kill a lot of the cards. So I didn't think Dodges were needed as much. I see the one Glinda tech. Glinda is always a good secondary option to give the Jean effect to, because she gets big, she has Encore, so she's sticky. Pierre is just guaranteed, but if they have like that can't be risk because 0 cards, but nowadays, or more now, so with the Nino coming out, maybe Glinda is an option to play in the deck now. And yep, he plays the one Neapolitan. I used to play that at the beginning, but then I just realized if I draw a combo, I play it. I'm not trying to force myself to play the combo, so I cut the Neo from the deck. And I think everything else is just pretty standard throughout the list.
Pretty bad the numbers in terms of like compared to what you're kind of bringing to the table.
Yeah. Then moving on, it's round 6. I'm playing as another Bang Dream, playing just choice pants standard, 5 choice 3 pants. The Nanami to Mashiro combo. He comboed. He played Choo Choo, Pareo. He got his combo off. Thing is, he played 1 Choo Choo, 2 Pareo, so his Choo Choo was huge. It was 11, 13, 15?
Yep.
15. So yeah, I had so that time I had a -1, but basically what I did was I played Nora, she's 14, and then I step out of Pira to become 15-5. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just bigger. So yeah, I saw him like grab memory kick counter too. So I was like, yeah, I'm just bigger. And Choo Choo just have encore. So yeah, Choo Choo's gone. He paid 3 to encore Choo Choo the next turn, and then he swung first with Pareo into my 2-2 that I got a while back. I memory kicked this Pareo, which meant Choo Choo's only 13 now. To my Nora. And then I can assign the 500. So then now I'm 14-5 to his power. So then basically his Choo Choo, I forgot the math one, but his Choo Choo tied with my card. So then his Choo Choo died again. So yeah, that was just unlucky for him. And then his level 3 game, he played Mashiro with like no full board condition, and he swung and he tried to combo. I was like, wait, no, you can't, dude. Combo needs full board. He's like, wait, it does? Then he read it, he's like, this card sucks. And I was like, yeah, tragic. Yeah, that was just unfortunate. Yeah, 4 more is reconditioned because, you know, everything needs it nowadays. Cards aren't free, guys. And then, yeah. And then so here, we're X1, going to the last round. I have to play against Content Marine, right? There's no way that I play against Content Marine. That game was actually the closest one out of all the games I played that day. So yeah, he did his stuff. I did my stuff. He played his Kanatas. He played 2, got the heal down. He had to side all my characters because I had like 2 2s and like 3 2s on board because I hit the 2 first, and I got the board set up because I had memory kick counter.
Yep.
So we sided. Nothing to see there because he knows I wasn't playing anti-change because open deck list KW, but he still had to side. He triggered 2 soul, did some damage. A little tragic. I killed his Kanatas, with Nora. Card's OP, and I power pumped. Like my card is just to be bigger than his counter. So then I killed it. He was able to do it again at level 3. The good thing was he's eating damage this whole time. And he also left 1 card in deck, so Pyrrha combo just rips through his deck. That was the only reason I think I won that game because I got extra damage from the shuffle back. Because he was canceling, he was like triple canceling 2 turns in a row until I shuffle back, and then he started eating damage. And he reached level 3, and when Kanata Marine reached level 3, it's a good win in your book because now they can't really get as much value from the Kanata Marine. So then I hit him at 3. He just he had 1 Marine in hand, and then he just somehow rips 3 Marines in a Climax, and I was like, bruh. Yeah. So yeah, he did that. I reached 3-6 with like 4 cards in deck. I draw for turn and I have 2 swings, and I was like, huh. And he was at 3-2. So then I was just like, okay. I had the Reburn in my hand, and I just like played it, salvaged a character, and we swung. Moved from my back rows. I swung with RWBY, triggered for 3. He takes the 3, and I burn 2, takes the 2, and he's dead. And I was like, oh my god. Yeah, that game was too hard.
You got him to 3, but then he pulled a little bit of magic there. Money's pretty good at.
It turns out 4 stock is all you need.
It's just that easy sometimes.
Yeah, so here we ended. Went to top cut. I got top cut. Because X1 didn't make it. We did the deck check. All good. Next day. So I knew I was playing against Mushoku. The next day, Mushoku matchup. I didn't actually really play against Mushoku. I didn't really have testing with this deck. I was just playing like casuals with my friends. Not really not really these like meta matchup. We're just playing to learn a deck. So I play against Mushoku. I have the general idea of Mushoku. They have rest counter. That's really much all they need. And then I know that Pyrrha just eats away all their 1-1 heiresses. So it was pretty free there. No encore. Unfortunately, my opponent, just swung twice at level 1, and I was like, okay, we just won the game here then.
Yeah, it was pretty key because he swung twice, and I believe he milled a standby with his Eris combo or something like that, and it basically meant that he was like 5 out, and before you started attack phase. One of these days, if I remember to link this clip, it'll be right there. You'll see the exact moment where Kaichou's opponent puts his hands on his head, and you can see the moment that he's like his deck is in shambles.
Yeah, once the VOD get releases, from Bushiroad, we'll do a a VOD review of that game
Yep.
when it comes out. But yeah, that game was pretty unfortunate for my opponent. He just kept eating damage, and then he never canceled. And then at the end of the game, or towards the end of the last turn, I icy tailed him for 5 and hit 2, and then yeah, that's where his climaxes were. Which was the tragedy. He was at 3-4. He eats the 2, refreshes, and he's dead. Like,
Kaichou, you want to just tell the audience about your secret 5 from the top cutting?
yeah, online cutting kind of sucks because you don't get to shuffle your opponent's deck. So with the stacking thing, dude, the stacking 3 power thing, that thing's fake, bro. Like, that's why I did like just like random cards from the top. I usually do 5, 10, maybe 3 if the deck is small. But yeah, just trying to get cards from the top or the bottom. Because I don't know why, but like when you're doing the 3 power stacking, there's like always climaxes. So, guys, if you're playing online tournaments, cut some cards and put it at the bottom. Yeah, that game, and then so that was top 4 guaranteed. Got a piece of paper guaranteed. I was sick. Highest achievement so far. And then top 4, H also won his top 8 match. I was like, yo, let's go. Yeah, he's playing against Kanta Marine. So before like day 2, I told H that I needed him to beat Kanta Marine because I didn't want to play against Kanta Marine again. For my top 4, so like he did his part. So here, I had a better chance of like winning, getting top 1 versus playing Kanta Marine. But I did. We both won our matches up against H again, top 4 for Mirror. That game was just tragic. I was at level 2. I just refreshed. I triggered a climax, and then I triggered 2 more. Then I was like, yup. And I had 2 level 0 on the board. I was like, yup. H sides all my lanes. And I'm like, yup. And then I eat a level. So then, yeah, I was at 3-0. He was like low 2. And then I just did my finisher combo because, got to do damage. And then we just died from there after because he lived my finisher combo, obviously, because low 2 compressed.
Yeah.
And that was the story of, H winning again. Pog champ, the run back. We didn't get to get the run back, but, well, H winning, that means top 2 guaranteed RWBY, since we both won our top 8 matchups. So RWBY's OP.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So then H went up to play first place. I went to play third place. Play against Counter Marine because, why not, dude? Because the top side of the bracket had 2 Counter Marines, and I was like, bro.
And then Damachi was the one who ended up going to the finals to play against H, which was
yeah, Damachi killed everyone. Basically, the third play matchup was pretty close. So he was like high 2, maybe low 3. I was basically dead. Cause I was at 3. This guy like killed my brainstormer with his Toa. Moved there, grappling hooked it. Then I like double cancer or something. And so I was like out a lot. If I don't kill this guy, I was dead. So I did the RWBY stuff. Play Restand, play Burn 2. Play Nora, get around rest counter, all that stuff. This guy just ate everything. And then I was like, yo, let's go. But not before I freaking like froze for a second, then I got a warning. Because webcam Weiss is freaking tragic. Like if I lost it, I would have so tilted.
Just a little bit of trolling there at the end just to make sure that we have maximum fear in Kaichou's heart.
Yeah, like I was like 3 swings away from winning the game. And then like I got a warning for a freaking frozen webcam, and I was like, bro. Yeah, it was so close. But yep, we got that win. We got the 3rd place. So we got the AOT PR and a piece of paper and a booster box of whatever that is.
We'll open that win when that comes.
Yeah, when that gets here.
I mean, hopefully when that comes, we'll also have the VOD, so then we could have a 2-for-1 special. But
True. Wait for that. But yeah, that was my overall experience of playing in my first online tourney. I don't usually play in online tourneys because I have work, or yeah, it's usually just work.
Well, I mean, you're now 2-for-2 in tournaments that you've attended, though. You did win the WGP last year.
True, in Washington. Yeah, Washington's real estate, dude.
So, online Kaichou. It's going to be a living legend right now.
We'll see you for BCS 2022 this year in Anaheim, California. Maybe something happens there. But since, this year, they're doing Worlds in Los Angeles, which is kind of interesting. But COVID stuff, so understandable. Which means the top 8 is to go for, because the top 8 mat's pretty good. The Quince mat is pretty good.
All right, but Kaichou, before we sign off, do you have any kind of for the future type of advice for any people who are looking to kind of bring this type of deck to the future BCSs that are going to be kind of coming up in the next few months? Well, with Quince 2 coming out, AOT
Let's do
Season
AOT.
3.
Yeah, depending on when AOT comes out, maybe let's we'll see some play. But so far, it's looking like AOT is just old deck plus new cards. Quince is just the standby deck that beats every standby deck. Yeah, so with the RWBY, I think I would have to play 4-4, 4 John combo, 4 Pure combo, synergy, flavor. Pretty much, RWBY deck is like fine. I also don't think it's not that good, because your finishers are strong, but sometimes not strong enough. And then your mid game can get a little weird sometimes if you don't see like climaxes. But it's like like I would say, just play like Damashi or Quince. This deck is too hard. The deck is too hard.
Any like kind of cards that didn't make this deck that anyone that you would recommend, like maybe someone who wants to try them out could consider like throwing into this deck? I imagine the Neapolitan could be a fun little option for some people who want to kind of confirm their climaxes or be able to actually lean more into the RWBY. Any other like little cute tech cards like that?
Yeah, Neapolitan does be a good card. You're gonna consider playing anti-change if you really wanted to. You can play like a triple kind of lineup, anti-change, member kick, and refresh counter. Overall, everything is fine as long as you play for Wukong. Like that's like MVP. And like Doggo. Like that's pretty much it, honestly. Just play 4 Wukongs, play Doggo. You should be fine.
Well, there you go, though, guys. Can confirm. Just play 4 copies of Wukong, 2 copies of Zwei, and then 8 climaxes. Other 38 cards are kind of pick your point, mix and match.
Yeah, you can play anything, honestly. But yeah, gotta do a quick shout out to our boy H. Beat me twice, getting top 2 or getting second place. Shout outs to Weiss Schwarz for this deck profile lineup. Oof me. Shout out to Oof me, dude. But yeah, that's pretty much for our bro recap.
Yep. Hopefully you guys enjoy this type of content. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you guys around next time.
Laters.